So I'm getting ready to start the recording stuff that I'm trying to do. I'd like to think anyhow I got a halfway decent tone going. You know, there are certain rules that you follow, you know, mic placement, how to set your amp up, all of that stuff. And I've kind of followed some of them rules, guidelines. And at some point, you know, guitar players especially, we're always, tone, tweaking. And at some point, you're just, you know, all right, it sounds good to me, you know. So I'm running my Engl Powerball 2. I got two microphones on a Bogner 212 bottom, one SM57 and one KSM313. Obviously, the SM57 is a staple microphone that everyone uses. It's a workhorse, you know, if you're a guitar player, especially playing high gain stuff, SM57. The reason I went with the KSM313, it's a Shure KSM313 ribbon microphone, is I was doing a lot of research, you know, microphones, miking up amps, cabinets, miking up cabinets. And I saw that it's like a microphone that John Petrucci from Dream Theater uses. So I figured, hey, I'll give it a shot and see, you know, add it with the SM57. So it sounds good. So this would be the SM57 just by itself. So then we got the KSM313 by itself. And then when you blend them together, you know, it gives it does what it's, you know, it sounds the way it sounds. So I'm going to so I'd like to think that I have a good starting point for my high gain sound. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start experimenting. I have a Taylor T5 like a hybrid acoustic, and I want to incorporate that into a bunch of the stuff that I'm going to recording. And last night I was at my house just noodling around on that Taylor, and I came up with some kooky stuff, and I'm like, you know what, I really need to start using this guitar. I've had it for quite some time, and I bought it for a project that I was in 2015 that I'm not going to say what the project was, but it didn't go anywhere, and as far as I know, that band never materialized into anything. So the person that was the singer, she was kind of running the show. I'm not going to say anything, so I'm just going to start doing like videos and explaining what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I put out a couple of videos already, but now I'd like to think that I have a really good starting point. I have a new Apollo X16 interface, and I ended up going with Pro Tools, and right now I have a laptop that has Windows 10, and I'm having an issue with when I record the playback, it's crackling and popping and doing all these things. And I was on the phone with Sweetwater for quite some time trying to get to the bottom of what the issue is. We couldn't fix it. So he talked to some people over at Universal Audio, and they gave me some suggestions. But when it comes to doing changes, making changes with the computer stuff, I have no idea what to do. I don't know how to do these things. So I have a friend of mine that's going to get together with me next week, and we're going to get to the heart of the problem. He says that he can do these things that they suggest that I do, and once I get up and running and I'm able to start recording with no issues and no cracking and popping and whatever, I'm full steam ahead as far as, all right, now it's time to start recording. I have this band that I play in. We're going to re-record all our old tunes and try and do something with that. I have tons of videos of whenever I'm sitting around noodling, like most guitar players do. That's basically how you come up with a riff. You're sitting around, watching TV, whatever, just goofing around, and all of a sudden something will come. Wherever it comes from, it comes to you. So I have tons of videos of just little riffs and stuff that I got to go through, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna try and take a stab at maybe writing and recording some instrumental stuff. I was never a big instrumental guy, but when you write songs and you come up with things and you don't have a singer or other musicians that can do the things that you want to do, they just sit. I have tons of songs that are just sitting there waiting for the right singer to come in and, all right, check it out, write a melody line, come up with some stuff, let's work together. And I'm having a hard time finding anyone in my area that would fit what I'm trying to do with certain songs. So I'm going to try and take a stab at writing some instrumentals, and I'm just going to write and record and try and put some stuff out there. I'm going to make YouTube videos and just to have my stuff out there, I guess. I'm 51 years old. I've been playing guitar since I was 11. Never really went anywhere like so many of us. We're never in the right place at the right time. But I would like to just have some of my stuff out there for others to either appreciate or to bash or whatever. So that's where I'm at right now, and the majority of the recording will be done with my Les Paul. It's a 2006 standard that is a chambered body. The headstock was almost completely broken off at one time. The guy who fixed it, a guy by the name of Denny Rowan here in town, he does phenomenal work. He's the guy I take my stuff to. Also, if you notice, I had the back of the neck, the finish, taken off the back of the neck because I don't like playing on a finished neck. And then the other thing I did was, I'm really hot on these tiny frets, stainless steel frets that I had on a Warmoth neck that I bought for one of my guitars. So I ended up putting these tiny frets on all of my guitars except for my one Hamer Flying V. That's another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some videos explaining what guitars I have, and some of my guitars have some kooky stories behind them, so I figured maybe people might be interested in that stuff. So the majority of the recording is going to be done with this Les Paul. For some reason, stock pickups, whatever the stock pickups it's a 2006 standard. For some reason, this guitar just seems to sound the best for when I was recording before, so I like the sound. So there you have it. I got a gig tomorrow night with this band Doc Hammer that I play in. Been with these guys almost 30 years now. We've been playing together on and off, and that's the band that we're going to re-record all our old stuff. And then after the gig tomorrow evening, I'm just going to dive into the recording stuff because I have no gigs coming up, nothing like that. So I don't know much about YouTube stuff. I just figured I'd make some videos, so if you want to give me a comment, suggestions, thoughts, criticisms, the only thing I ask is if there's any kind of hate-filled comments, I'll delete them. And I don't know if you can block people, but I got no time for people and their hate and their misery. There's too much of that on the internet now, and it's just not something I want to have associated with me. So I'm sure that right there is going to get people to lay out some hate-filled comments. So what are you going to do? All right, thank you.